The other features are rashes, which appears on the fourth day with an increase in fever. They appear behind the ear, along the hairline and the posterior aspect of the cheeks. Gradually they spread through face, neck, chest, arms, trunk, thighs and legs. They fade in the same order, and this occurs by 10 days, and they leave a briny desquamation or brownish discoloration. In case of hemorrhagic measles, there can be bleeding through nose, mouth or bowel. Now let's see about the complications of measles. So the main complications of measles are there can be widespread mucosal damage and significant immunosuppression induced by measles, and this causes many complications. So measles in the ഭാഗമായിട്ട് ഇത് epithelial system affect ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ there can be gradual damage of the mucosa as well as ഇവിടെ immunosuppressionും ഉണ്ടാവും. ഈ രണ്ട് കാരണങ്ങൾ മൂലമാണ് മീസിൽസിന്റെ കോംപ്ലിക്കേഷൻസ് ഉണ്ടാവുന്നത്. Complications, they are frequent in very young, malnourished and immunocompromised persons. The major complications are otitis media and bacterial bronchopneumonia. ഇതാണ് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതലായിട്ട് ഉണ്ടാവുന്ന കോംപ്ലിക്കേഷൻസ്, which are otitis media and bacterial bronchopneumonia. Other respiratory complications include laryngitis, tracheitis, bronchitis, giant cell pneumonia, bronchiectasis, flaring up of latent tuberculosis infection. So these are the other respiratory complications. ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതലായിട്ട് ഉണ്ടാവുന്നത് otitis media and bronchopneumonia ആണ്. ചില ആൾക്കാരിൽ there can be other complications like laryngitis, tracheitis, bronchitis, giant cell pneumonia, bronchiectasis and flaring up of tuberculosis. The gastrointestinal complications include diarrhea, appendicitis, hepatitis, ileocolitis, and since there is persistent diarrhea, it may also contribute to malnutrition. So these are the gastrointestinal complications: persistent diarrhea, appendicitis, hepatitis and ileocolitis. In very few cases, that is 12 per 1000 cases, there can be acute encephalitis, and this usually occurs due to the invasion of the brain. So acute encephalitis is a very serious complication which occurs in 12 cases per 1000 cases, and this occurs due to the direct invasion of the brain. There can be post-measles encephalitis after the recovery in very few children. So measles in infection ഉണ്ടായി അതിൽ നിന്ന് റിക്കവർ ആയ ശേഷവും കോംപ്ലിക്കേഷൻസ് കാണിക്കാം. This include post-measles encephalitis, and this is also very rare. Measles may also cause a fatal subacute sclerosing panencephalitis several years after the infection, but it is very rare. It occurs only in 1 per 1 lakh cases. So measles karanam, another complication is SSPE, which is subacute sclerosing panencephalitis. These are the complications of measles. Measles in a main complication are otitis media, bronchopneumonia. Other respiratory complications like laryngitis, tracheitis, bronchitis, giant cell pneumonia, bronchiectasis and flaring up of TB. Gastrointestinal complications like diarrhea, appendicitis, hepatitis, ileocolitis and malnutrition. There can be acute encephalitis, post-measles encephalitis and SSPE in very few cases. Coming to the diagnosis of measles, the main diagnostic criteria is assessing the clinical features So when you do a detailed history collection and a physical examination, you'll get a clue regarding the measles. Later, it is confirmed by estimating the levels of IgM anti-measles antibody, which is usually present 3 days after the appearance of rashes and persist for 1 month after the disease. So this is how you make the diagnosis, a detailed history collection and physical examination, and later you can go for a confirmatory test where you do a level of IgM anti-measles antibody. ഇത് കാണണമെങ്കിൽ ഡിസീസ് റാഷസ് അപ്പിയർ ചെയ്തിട്ട് 3 ദിവസം കഴിഞ്ഞിരിക്കണം. അസുഖമുണ്ടായി 1 മാസം വരെ ഈ ഒരു IgM anti-measles antibody raised ആയിട്ട് തന്നെയായിരിക്കും നിൽക്കുക. Coming to the treatment of measles, the treatment is usually supportive, and in the supportive management, you have to give antipyretics in order to control the fever, maintenance of hygiene as it is an infection involving the entoreticular system, adequate fluid and caloric intake as there are high chances of malnutrition, and proper humidification in order to avoid the discomfort due to the rashes. Vitamin A is given in order to reduce the morbidity and mortality of measles. Usually we give a single oral dose of 1 lakh international units if the child is below 1 year, and 2 lakh international unit if the child is above 1 year, and you should manage the complication if they occur. So these are the treatment modalities. Supportive treatment aanu kodukka, antipyretics, maintenance of hygiene, adequate fluid and caloric intake, humidification, vitamin A kodukkum, dose it is like usual single oral dose aanu kodukka, and management of complications. Coming to the prevention, the most and the relevant preventive measure is universal immunization. So national immunization ഭാഗമായിട്ട് MMR വാക്സിൻ എടുക്കുന്ന കുട്ടികളാണെങ്കിൽ ഇത് ഉണ്ടാവാനുള്ള ചാൻസ് വളരെ കുറവാണ്. Post exposure prophylaxis should be given with immunoglobulins, and it is indicated for all immunocompromised contacts irrespective of the immunization status, and exposed infants aged 6 to 12 months. So post exposure prophylaxis must ആയിട്ടും കൊടുക്കണം. ഇത് മെയിൻലി കൊടുക്കുക ഇമ്മ്യൂണോകോംപ്രമൈസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ആൾക്കാർക്കും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ 6 to 12 മന്ത്സിൽ പെട്ട ഇൻഫൻസിനുമാണ്. ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ ഇമ്മ്യൂണോഗ്ലോബുലിൻസ് ആണ് പോസ്റ്റ് എക്സ്പോഷർ പ്രൊഫിലാക്സിസ് ആയിട്ട് കൊടുക്കുക. In case of an unimmunized immunocompetent contact older than 12 months, they should receive measles or MMR vaccine within 72 hours of exposure. So ഒരു വ്യക്തി നല്ല ആരോഗ്യമുള്ള ഒരാളാണ്, അതുപോലെ തന്നെ അൺഇമ്മ്യൂണൈസ്ഡ് ആണ് എങ്കിൽ, അതുമാത്രമല്ല കുട്ടിയുടെ ഏജ് 12 മന്ത്സിനേക്കാളും കൂടുതലാണ് എങ്കിൽ 72 hours-നുള്ളിൽ MMRന്റെ വാക്സിൻ നമ്മൾ കൊടുക്കും in order to prevent the infection. So these are the preventive measures: universal immunization, post-exposure prophylaxis, where immunoglobulins is indicated to all immunocompromised patients, as well as those infants between the age of 6 to 12 months. In unimmunized immunocompetent persons who are older than 12 months, we go for MMR vaccine, which should be ideally given within 72 hours of exposure.